So today's agenda, we're going to do an introduction to descriptive statistics. I have a little intro from the 1980s. Not really. Maybe late 90s. And then we're going to talk about chapters 2 and 3. We're going to do a little bit of exploration, let you guys think a little bit before I corrupt you with the traditional way to do things. And then we're going to do a little intro into ISYS and time permitting Tableau. So that's kind of the plan for today. So just for kicks and giggles, what have you guys been doing in ISYS class? In your data analytics fundamentals, what are you guys doing in that class? Excel. Okay, so you're learning Excel. What are you learning while you're doing Excel? Like, are you doing anything fun in Excel, or just like
importing data,
forms,
pivot tables?
So getting the data in, making pivot tables.
Yeah.
We'll come back to that. And they have some pivot tables. And yet, you're going to be like, why can't I just do this in Excel? SAS is so much harder. But it gets better. So we'll try and do a little compare and contrast. What do we find in Excel? What do we find in SAS? Can we do the same things in SAS and Tableau? What's better? Which is the program for better use? For which situation? So where we've been? Last week, we did chapter 1, right? Intro to Business Analytics. You turned in a quiz. I'll grade that this afternoon. So my goal is to grade your quiz the day that it's due. It's a goal. Won't always happen, depending on life, but that's going to be my goal. So at least you get that timely feedback pretty quickly. Your assignments take a little bit longer to grade because there's a lot of you and they're a lot bigger. Assignment 1 should be due today as well, at the 8:30 because we haven't changed anything. Do you guys have any questions that we haven't addressed about last week or about the assignments?
Do you prefer that all of the assignment is in one Word document and the task are just divided up in different pages?
I do. So for this assignment, if you didn't do it that way, that's totally fine. But yes, in general, just one Word assignment is the best way to do it. So I can just scroll and not be like task 1 in this document, task 2 in this document, task 3 in this document. It makes just the way that the Blackboard interface works, it makes grading things a little bit harder. To actually put them all in one document. You put a different task on like a different page or whatever. As far as formatting of your assignments go, pretty laid back. Everybody's going to kind of have their own formatting style. The way to a better grade is to make things clear and easy for me to find. Not going to lie. If I can find the answers, you get more points than if I can't find the answers. And hopefully, my goal will be to get this one back to you pretty quickly, so you can kind of see what I'm looking for, how I'm grading, things like that. So you'll have an idea for assignments. So we kind of really quickly at the end of last week was hitting on some of this stuff. You guys remember the difference between categorical and quantitative variables? Between qualitative, if I use qualitative instead of categorical, are you guys okay with that? If you're not, let me know. We talked a little bit about the fact that those categorical variables could be numeric. Those are the funky ones. Can we talk about that? So just because you have a number, is it okay to do descriptive statistics just because something's a number?
No.
So for example, let's say I'm looking at hair color, and I say that black hair is 1 and brown hair is 2. Copper? 3. We've got red is 4, blonde is 5. Okay. Now, we have everybody's name on a list. We have their hair color. I average that number, and I come up with 3.4. It's meaningless, right? Okay, so just because it's a number Doesn't mean you can do descriptive statistics on it. Does SAS know that you can't do it? Does Tableau know that you shouldn't do it? Does Excel know that you shouldn't do that? You shouldn't take an average of hair color. Okay, so the software is going to say, hey, sure, it's a number. I can do whatever you want with it. But that's where your analytic skill is going to come in. Other than that, we're pretty good. Numbers. Population. Sample. Everybody's good with that? We make inferences from the sample to the population. That was kind of the big things. If I had to summarize all the things in chapter 1, those are kind of the big that I wanted to remind us of. Today we're going to talk about a picture's worth 1,000 words. That's lesson 2. Alright, we like visualizations. If you're going to be learning about visualizations in your data analytics fundamentals class as well, you're trying to play off each other so you're not learning all the same thing in the same places. Hopefully this will be a little complementary. If you're not taking that class, no worries, you're going to get plenty of stuff here too. So, to start out with, I'm already tired of talking. I like it when you guys talk. Let's explore. Let's explore. So, on your blackboard, go to your blackboard. Over here on the left-hand side, you should see data sets. And at the very top, it says Razorback Stores, F2, F1. Face-to-face 1 is the data set that I used on my Saturday class, but it worked really well for them, so you guys get to do it too. We're going to use Razorback Stores pretty much throughout the semester. We're going to learn to do a lot of things with Razorback Stores. However, the core file that I'm going to give you is going to change. So I will try to only have the one that you need to use. But as you start to save this file, just know that we're going to be modifying it as we go throughout the semester. Okay, so you'll have this is like a week 2, we'll have a Razorback Stores from week 5, we'll have another Razorback Stores from week 8, where we've done stuff to it. Okay? So if you'll open it up right now, it is in your favorite Excel file. And we're actually going to just look at it in Excel for now. We might get ambitious, we might get into SAS by the end of the day, but for now we're just going to look at Excel. So this is a completely fictional data set that I mess with and manipulate to suit my needs as a teacher. We have a customer number. We have the type of customer. So the idea behind this data set is that we've run some type of promotion. Okay, we've mailed out promotional flyers to a subset of our customers. And they're labeled if they're a promotional customer, or if they're a regular customer, means they just came in off the streets and they don't have our promotional flyer. Okay. We have the number of items they bought. We have the net sales. So how much did they spend? We have the gross sales. But everybody got a discount in some way, shape, or form. Discount amount is there. We have the method of payment that they use in American Express, Discover, MasterCard, Visa. We only have credit card transactions, no cash. Okay. We also have a proprietary Razorback card that they can use. Okay, that's our stored credit card. We like it when they do that. We have a little bit of information about our customers, their gender, their marital status, their age. I have the date of purchase. This took place over a week, so we have a week's worth of data. I have the time of purchase, so we can know if this happened in the morning or the afternoon. Because I'm really nice today, I even have the day of purchase. So I've converted the date to the actual calendar day. Right? Monday through Friday, or I guess Sunday through Saturday. We know if they're a loyalty member, if they've signed up for our loyalty program or not. We know how many times they've been to our store in the past 12 months. And we know how much they've spent in the past 12 months. We know a lot of stuff. Okay. I'm going to... I'm looking for. Yes. I've got about 5 slides from the 1990s. Then I'm going to show you real quick, and then we'll take a break, all right? Okay. So a picture's worth 1,000 words, but it may not be a good picture. So we've been talking about data visualization already. Dashboards are kind of a pretty big thing, right? If I can visualize data at a quick glance, I can probably make more effective decisions faster, assuming that I have a good visualization. Okay? The business as a whole, the processes, the financials, all of these are times that dashboards really come into play. As far as advanced visualizations, again, if you can dream it, it can happen. You just got to find the right person with the right skill set to make it happen. Okay? This is where, again, we're going to go from SAS, which is a little more statistical, to Tableau, which is a little more visual. We will have a SAS Visual Analytics, which looks a little bit better than SAS Enterprise Guide. These are the tools that I'm going to be able to give you, or be able to allow you to obtain, I guess. There's lots of different things we can do. A few that I'm going to show you. Again, I say it's from the 90s. Really, this is just kind of how some sales stuff happens. This is what you're going to see more of as an everyday thing, as opposed to a presentation. Okay? The business scorecards. What do you notice? I know you can necessarily read the numbers and stuff. That's not important. What do you notice about this scorecard? What jumps out at you?
All that color schemes for the numbers are good or bad.
Okay. Color schemes, assuming the greens are good, the yellows are okay, and the reds are something I need to take action on that day. Right? When I see this red thing down here at the very bottom, my pointer kind of sort of points to, that's saying, for this quarter, that's the thing I really need to go focus on first. It's just kind of a scorecard telling me what's happening overall. A dashboard is a little bit more interactive, if possible. Okay. What do you think about the dashboard? It's busy. Okay. So would you ever do something like this on a presentation in one slide?
No.
No. Okay. But if this is a screen that I look at daily, and there are a few things that I monitor, this is my quintessential data that I have. What if this was being updated every minute with transactions from around the country? This was changing. These are my key metrics that I'm watching. Did you like it a little better? My job for the day is to watch this, and whenever I see red hands pop up, go figure out what's wrong with the red hand. I know I got a lot of red hands. I'm not saying my job's easy, but I know where I need to go. I know where I need to start, right? I know that I don't need to worry about the first thing. I really need to worry about my printers and faxes. Everything's red on that. Okay. What about the report? How do you feel about that visualization? You're an accountant, aren't you? That's the numbers. Yeah. So compare and contrast. Would you rather look at this or at this?
Depends.
Depends. You guys are gonna have fun with that answer, I can tell. So it depends, right? So if this is my day-to-day, and I'm watching for trends and I'm watching for hot spots, can I probably see it better here or here? Probably in the dashboard. But if I want to get into the details, and maybe this is at the end of my report, and it says reports. Right. Now, this is definitely a very valid way to display data, especially for the person who wants the numbers. So you can also have this accompanying with a visualization, right? So you have that bar chart that kind of summarizes everything. And in the bar chart, you don't want it to get too messy, so you leave off all the actual dollar values, but then you get the big trends. But then you have the report that's attached to it, and if you want to dig into it, here it is. Business analytics applications. So you guys are going to get to play with more of these in your data analytics fundamentals class. We're not going to spend a lot of time with the analytics applications other than the statistical piece of it. So that's what we're going to focus on. But here, you can actually set things up and try to get that business intelligence in the hands of more people. Okay? So you can set up applications so that people can get in and get data without getting in and getting the data. Right? Here's the data that I've set up these reports. They're interactive as much as they can be, so you can gain insight, but you're not touching my data. Okay. We'll talk about why that's important.